Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all having a lovely day today. Today I'm going to go through the top things to pack for your university experience. Whether you're first year, second year, third year, these are definitely things you need to remember. I can only speak from my university experience, what I've done within my 3 years. I'm just about to graduate, so I think I should know by now what to bring. I can only speak for certain things that I bought for my course, but generally, overall, these are the top things that I'd advise you to bring. Please remember to give this video a big thumbs up if you do like it, and hit that subscribe button if you are new. Please hit the bell if you are new so you get notified every time that I do upload, and let's get on with the video. My first thing that I advise you to bring is identification. Proof of identity stuff. So I'm talking your passport, a driver's license if you have one, a birth certificate even, because there's certain things with your first week of university that they need to verify who you are so you can get your money from student finance, for example. You may need it if you are joining a new GP practice, which I advise you to do. You will also need identification if you go out drinking, because most of you will probably be 18, 19 and will get ID'd. So I advise some sort of identification to bring with you. Put it in a little plastic wallet, forget about it, leave it on a shelf, but make sure you have it with you. This kind of fits in with the identification, but make sure you have all of your university documents. This will probably be an application offer to say that you actually got it, maybe your accommodation letter if you get one, or evidence of your accommodation. You will also need your student finance documents. In order for you to get your money that you've put your application in for, they need to see the letter that you've got. So make sure you bring that. And if you are moving into university accommodation, you will need to already print off your pass to be able to get onto the campus and to get your room key. They will need to probably see evidence of that. Sometimes you could do it as a QR code on your phone, but sometimes you'll need to print it out. So make sure you have that. Make sure you have your GP information, that's your doctor's information. So you'll probably need the address of where your surgery is, the name of your doctor, contact telephone number, because you will probably be moving, unless your university is really close, you'll probably want to move your GP to one at university within the first sort of few weeks when you join. This may take a while because they also need to prove that it's you and transfer your GP records over, but make sure we're doing that within the first sort of week that we're there. So if you are unwell, you have someone to go to. Make sure you have some slip-on shoes, whether they are flip-flops or sliders, or even I have some fluffy boots. Just bring something to slip on because the kitchen will be probably disgusting. The floor will not be nice. It will get mopped if your flatmates are nice or you do it, but half the time it's sticky and there's stuff on the floors. So don't just wear your lovely little socks in, because you will get stuck and it just will not be a nice experience for you. So bring some slip-on shoes. The only reason why I'm mentioning this one is because I think for my first year, definitely, and potentially my second year, I forgot this both times. Hangers. Stuff to hang my clothes on. I forgot it. It was fine because we could just go over to the shopping centre and buy some hangers, so it wasn't the end of the world, but make sure you bring some because then you won't have to go spend money on them. On the subject of clothes, make sure you have something to dry them on. My university does have a little cable that you can connect for to either side of like the shower. I personally have got one of these. Let me show you. Can you see it? Oh, I've got one of these. Essentially what you do with it is it opens like this. You put these bits on like this and you hang it over the back of the bathroom door. But I definitely advise bringing either one you can leave in your room, like this one, or if you do have a proper area, you can do what some people do in my flat, which is leave it out in the corridor, but then you may run the risk of people stealing your clothes. Now, I don't necessarily think anyone would, because they might not fit, but we're in university here and people like to use other people's things. So just for my own personal preference, we got me one of these which goes over the top of the door. So my clothes are in my room. Also, the washed clothes can make your room smell quite nice as well, so that's also a bonus. Another thing to bring is a bunch of chargers. I have a 2-meter cable to charge my phone so I can lay in bed and still have it plugged in. You will have limited plug sockets around your room. There's 2 by my bed, there's about 4 on my desk, and I think that's probably about it. You're also probably, at least in my university accommodation, you might not be allowed extension plugs. So the way how I got around this is I've got a sort of USB charger kind of thing. It's an extension plug, but not quite. There's no way of me actually showing you what it looks like, but essentially it's like a black box with 2 plugs on this side and then 2 USB ports in the top. So I just loop my 2-meter long cable into that so it will stretch onto my bed where I'm sat now, or to my desk, or pretty much wherever I want it around the room. You will need to bring things to do, and by that I mean whether it's a gaming setup, a bunch of book, colouring. You will get bored. You will need things to do. I like crocheting as well, so I think second year and the start of this year I had a bunch of crocheting bits for me to do. I've got my little switch, so I have stuff to do, but you will get bored at times, so make sure you have enough to keep your brain going, because you won't be working 24/7. You will be working pretty hard, but you need other things to do to give yourself breaks. You will, of course, need stationery bits, books, notepads, pens, pencils, rulers, things like that, so make sure you have them. I think across the 3 years, I've probably had about 7 or 8 rulers because they just disappear, and pens will run out, but you can probably, wherever your local shop is, you could probably buy some more. So they're not a necessity, but I would say bring some for your sort of first semester, and then you can sort of buy more and top things up. I found a paper planner to be really, really useful. You can download your timetable onto your phone. You can type everything into your calendar, which is what I also do, but it's really helpful to map out your day within a planner. I think within semester A of this year, I was really, really using one up until I went on to placement, and then I was doing like 12-hour shifts, so a little bit harder to plan out my days when my day consists of go to work and sleep. But within uni days, you can plan what you do when you wake up, your lectures for the day, anything else you want to get done, and you can tick it off, and seeing it ticked off really, really helped my brain go, you have actually done stuff today. You haven't just played on your Switch for 7 hours. It's also really useful because I know my secondary school and my sixth form also used a planner, so I was sort of always used to having that. So definitely buy one if that's something that you think would be useful for yourself, because you will have lots of different times for lectures all different weeks. So you want to have kitchenware. You probably don't need as much as you think. I have a set of 4 plates, 4 bowls, and I think that's it. And I probably use the sum total of about 2 plates and 2 bowls in rotation. The one thing that I do really, really want to stress is people will use your stuff. People will use your kitchenware. People will use your baking trays, your washing up liquid, maybe even your plates if you leave them out. So my way of combating this is plastic garden plates. Now hear me out, sounds a bit weird because you're probably used to eating on normal plates, right? And I'm talking not kids plates, but ones you'd use for picnics. This is my dirty one from this morning, but this is what I mean. People won't use them because they're not the conventional plate. You can also drop them on the floor and they won't smash, which is another thing because I'm really clumsy. And honestly, that was probably one of the best purchases that I made. You don't need any fancy plates or anything. I've seen people leave stuff in the sink and then have a broken glass or broken mug or plate because they've left them in the sink, which I wouldn't advise you to do anyway, but they've broken. You can't break them. You can't break my plastic plates. The only problem that I've noticed is you can't microwave them, So I've just been using like one of the microwavable pot things. So it hasn't really been that much of an issue. I initially thought, oh my God, like I microwave so much stuff, it's gonna like melt my plates, but it doesn't. So if you can, my advice would be to get plastic plates. Strange one, I know. You obviously don't have to. That's my advice. I'd also only say in terms of don't buy yourself entire cooking sets. You probably need one frying pan, a big, I want to say bowl pan, what are they called? A big saucepan and a little one. Colander, that will probably suffice, wooden spoon, a spatula, some sharp knives for meat and things and vegetables, and then a good pair of scissors because you will need to open stuff. I also would suggest you buy some rubber oven gloves to get your stuff out. Some people use tea towels, that's fine. I originally had like fabric cloth sort of oven gloves, but I burnt my finger through the oven gloves and the rubber gloves have saved my life. I don't mean rubber gloves, I'll get them. Something like this is probably what I advise you to get because things get hot in that oven. Things get hot and you want to protect your hands. A duvet set. You will want probably 2 pillows and a duvet. My advice for the duvet is you buy a size bigger than what your bed is. So if your bed in your accommodation is a single, I'd advise you to buy a double. Because it's cozy. A girl likes cozy things. The double's cozy. Also, it's slightly bigger than a single. So buy a double is essentially what I'm saying. If you have a double bed, buy the size above. Ultimate coziness, especially in the winter months, especially when it's cold, because your room will occasionally be very, very cold and you will want extra snuggle. Leading on to that, your room will also be very, very hot. If it gets above 20 degrees, you will probably be sweating in here. So my way to combat that is buy a fan. Any sort of fan, whether it's standing on the floor or on the desk like mine is, like a desk fan. Buy one. Because when it gets to semester C, semester B, sort of around May, which it is now, onwards, you'll be sweating. Your room will either be too cold, too hot, and there's no in between. So you need things to combat either way. Big blankets in the winter, double-sized duvet on a single, and a fan. Your window will open, but if it's like this is the window, it will go here. And that is it to stop you, you know, out of it, which is fair enough. You won't get much airflow, so bring a fan. Bring some things to make it homely, whether that's fairy lights, pictures, different foods from home. Bring comfort items. You will get homesick, you will get lonely at times, you will probably get to the middle of your degree and be like, why am I doing this? Bring stuff that reminds you of home if you're a homely person, or bring a picture of your dog. Bring stuffed animals, like I've got a Pikachu. Bring some stuff that makes it feel a little bit less away from home. I would also say in terms of packing, you only need toiletries for probably the first few weeks. You can always buy more. Toiletries, razors, things like that. You can buy more. They're anything that you can go into your local Asda's, Sainsbury's, Morrison's, Co-op, Aldi, Lidl. Don't bother bringing with you unless it's like a necessity. Something else you should definitely bring to university is a wash bag. Get a really, really big one, put all of your washing in, and then do bulk washing, because most of the washing is going to cost you about £3 to £5 each time you do a wash. So you want to use as much clothing as possible before you wash. So make sure you have a big wash bag to fill it up pretty much full before you do a wash, and then have a little wash bag so you can take all of your washing to the washing machine so you don't have to lug the big one over. So that, I think they are my top things to bring to university. I will also do things not to bring to university. Some things that I've bought which I've never used or worn, or you don't need that much stuff. You obviously need enough stuff to live on, but you do not need that many essentials. Most things, if you forget something, you can go and buy them, but these are definitely the things that I'd advise you to bring. So I really hope you guys have enjoyed today's video, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. If you do like this video, then make sure we give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget the subscribe button, which is sat right down here. Go and click on it for me and turn the notification bell on so you get notified. There'll be many more university videos coming up, so stay tuned for them. Bye guys.